These celebrities lost it on live TV, from flipping tables to walking off set and even throwing punches. Stick around, because the last moment is so insane it almost got someone banned forever. And it all starts with the moment that shocked the entire music industry, when Kanye West stormed the stage and snatched a mic from a 19-year-old Taylor Swift. At the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards, something happened that no one could have predicted, and it instantly became one of the most famous live TV moments ever. Taylor Swift, just 19 at the time, won Best Female Video for her song "You Belong With Me." She walked up on stage and started giving her acceptance speech. But before she could even finish her first sentence, Kanye West stormed up on stage, grabbed the mic out of her hand and said,
I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
Taylor just stood there, completely stunned. The crowd booed, Beyonce looked embarrassed, and the show quickly cut to something else. Everyone watching at home couldn't believe what they just saw. It was rude, unexpected, and honestly, kind of painful to watch.
One of the best videos of all time.
Kanye later apologized, and even Beyonce tried to make things right by inviting Taylor back on stage later in the show, but the damage was already done. And just when you thought things couldn't get any more unhinged, a tennis legend screamed at an umpire so loud it became a global meme. In 1981, tennis player John McEnroe had one of the most famous meltdowns in sports history. And it happened live at Wimbledon. McEnroe was already known for being fiery and intense, but during a first-round match, he totally lost it. It all started when a linesman said one of his shots was out. McEnroe saw chalk fly up from the line and was sure the ball was in. He couldn't believe the call. That's when he yelled the now iconic line, "You cannot be serious."
You cannot be serious! That ball was on the line!
His voice echoed across the court, and everyone watching at home was stunned. He kept going, calling the call the absolute pits of the world, and even smashed his racket in frustration. He didn't stop there. He called the umpire an incompetent fool right to his face. The whole thing was live on TV, and no one had ever seen anything like it before in tennis. McEnroe got a penalty right there on the court, but the incident didn't stop him from winning the match, and eventually the whole tournament. Still, people weren't happy. Wimbledon is supposed to be classy and respectful, and McEnroe's outburst didn't fit in. The British tabloids went wild and gave him the nickname Super Brat. But wait, what happens when a live sports interview turns into a full-on fight? Spoiler, someone flips a table. In 1994, NFL quarterback Jim Everett went on a live sports show called Talk 2, hosted by Jim Rome on ESPN2. The two already had some history. Rome had been teasing Everett on the radio for years, calling him Chris, a jab comparing him to female tennis player Chris Evert, implying that Everett wasn't tough. So when Everett came on the show, Rome immediately pushed his buttons by calling him Chris again.
Check that, Chris Everett. Good to have you on the show.
You know what? You've been calling me that for about the last 5 years.
Everett tried to stay calm and even warned Rome to stop. But when Rome repeated it, Everett just snapped. He stood up, flipped the table between them, and shoved Rome so hard he flew off his chair. It was all live, and the crew had to cut to commercial.
You probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Chris?
Surprisingly, a lot of people took Everett's side. They felt Rome had been asking for it with all his trash talk. The video went viral, especially in the sports world, and it followed both guys for years. Rome tried to save face later, saying Everett just snapped, but not many bought that. And if that wasn't awkward enough, imagine watching two news anchors roast each other live, while the whole city's watching. In 2001, during a live morning news segment on Good Day New York, viewers watched something totally awkward happen. The show's anchor, Jim Ryan, was talking to field reporter Dick Oliver, who was covering a pretty boring story about a landlord and tenant. But things went off track fast. After Oliver let the person he was interviewing walk away, Ryan got frustrated.
Ollie, don't let her go away. What, does she have a response to that? Is she still there?
Oliver didn't stay quiet. He clapped back, reminding Ryan that he used to be his boss.
I'll give you some lessons on how to be an editor because I was your boss once.
Yeah, you were.
Everyone watching, including the people on set, looked super uncomfortable. The moment quickly went viral and was called one of the cringiest live TV fights ever. It became such a big deal that Saturday Night Live even made fun of it later, turning it into a comedy sketch. Both Ryan and Oliver later laughed it off, but the clip still lives online and is shown in media classes as a perfect example of how not to act on TV. That meltdown was bad, but next, one of the world's biggest movie stars goes from promo mode to full-blown rage, right in the middle of a morning show. In 2005, Tom Cruise went on NBC's Today Show to promote his movie War of the Worlds. But instead of talking about aliens, the interview took a weird turn. Host Matt Lauer asked him about some comments he made earlier, where Tom criticized actress Brooke Shields for using antidepressants to deal with postpartum depression.
It's very impressive to listen to you because clearly you've done the homework and you know the subject.
And you should do that also because just knowing people who are on Ritalin isn't enough. You should be a little bit more responsible in knowing
I'm
really...
not prescribing Ritalin.
Since Tom is a Scientologist, he doesn't believe in psychiatry or medication. And when the topic came up, he got really fired up. What was supposed to be a chill morning interview suddenly turned tense. Tom's whole vibe changed. He got serious and started lecturing Matt on the history of psychiatry, saying things like,
No, you see, here's the problem. You don't know the history of psychiatry. I do. All it does is mask the problem, Matt. And if you understand the history of it, it masks the problem.
Matt, who usually stays cool under pressure, looked kind of shocked. After the interview aired, people started questioning Tom's behavior. It wasn't just this interview. He'd also jumped on Oprah's couch around the same time, and everyone started wondering if he was okay. And just when you think live TV can't get any more explosive, how about a punk band that cursed so hard it ended a host's career? Back in 1976, the punk rock band Sex Pistols appeared on a show called Today, hosted by Bill Grundy. They were last-minute replacements for Queen, so nobody really expected much. But what went down shocked the entire country. Bill Grundy was kind of mocking and sarcastic toward the band, and he basically dared them to say something outrageous. Big mistake.
Fucking spanked, haven't we? I don't know, have you?
Yeah, it's all gone.
Really? Good Lord. I want to know one thing. Beethoven, Mozart.
The band members, especially Steve Jones, didn't hold back. They started swearing and insulting Grundy right there on live TV. Steve called him a dirty old man and dropped several curse words that weren't supposed to be said on air.
Go on, again.
You dirty fucker.
What?
The next day, it was all over the newspapers. One headline screamed, "The filth and the fury." The media tore into them, and the public couldn't believe what had happened. But here's the twist. While Bill Grundy's career basically ended after that, he was suspended and never really came back. The Sex Pistols became even more famous. But hold on, because Mike Tyson's live TV meltdown takes things to a whole new level, and nothing got bleeped out. In 2014, former boxing champion Mike Tyson was on Canadian news channel CP24 to promote his one-man show. Everything was going fine until the host, Nathan Downer, brought up Tyson's past. He asked if Tyson's rape conviction from 1992 could affect Toronto Mayor Rob Ford's image, since Tyson had recently met with him. The question hit a nerve, and Tyson totally lost it. Live on TV,
critics would say, you know, there's a race for mayor. We know you're a convicted rapist. This could hurt his campaign. How would you respond to that?
I don't know who said that. You're the only one I heard say that, you know, because it's negative and you're being negative.
Tyson's mood changed instantly. The anchor reminded him they were live, but Tyson just said,
"You're doing live TV.
Hey, I don't care. What you gonna do about it?"
All right, you got it.
The profanity just kept coming. And since there was no delay on the broadcast, every word went out uncensored. It was super uncomfortable to watch. Eventually, the anchor ended the interview quickly while Tyson was still fuming. After the clip went viral, people had mixed feelings. Some thought the host was asking a legit question, while others said it was dumb to poke a guy like Tyson like that. Surprisingly, the host later tweeted that he was fine and had no ill will toward Tyson. The news channel apologized for the bad language, and Tyson later said sorry too. Kind of. And finally, Ben Affleck versus Bill Maher. A fiery live debate about religion, racism, and rage that had millions glued to their screens. Back in 2014, actor Ben Affleck appeared on HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher for what was supposed to be a regular panel discussion. But things got really heated when the topic of Islam came up. Bill Maher and author Sam Harris started saying some strong stuff. They argued that liberals are too soft when it comes to criticizing problems in the Muslim world.
That liberals applaud for, but then when you say in the Muslim world this is what's lacking, then they get upset.
Harris even said Islam was the motherlode of bad ideas, and Maher compared it to a mafia. Ben Affleck didn't take that well at all.
One reason they don't get exposed is because it's the only religion that acts like the mafia will fucking kill you.
Affleck looked super tense and called the comments gross and racist. He said it was wrong to paint all Muslims with the same brush and stood up for regular Muslim people just trying to live their lives.
There are hundreds of millions of Muslims who are nominal Muslims, who don't take the faith seriously, who are horrified by ISIS, and we need to defend these people.
One of his most quoted lines was when he said,
ISIS couldn't fill a AA ballpark in Charleston, West Virginia, and you were making a career out of ISIS.
His voice got louder, his fists clenched the chair, and the energy in the room got super awkward. The whole thing felt more like a real argument than a TV discussion. If you want more insane moments like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. You won't regret it.